Hello, welcome to episode 33. My single most powerful weapon in my recovery from stroke. This is episode 33 and my channel is called How I Conquered Stroke. I said my because maybe yours is different. Or it might be different. But I doubt it. Your stroke is likely to be very different. But the basic thing you use to recover from the stroke is essentially likely not. If you know my story at all, you know that I had a devastating stroke. Right side of my body was completely immobile, devoid of feeling. I had lost the ability to speak, etc., etc. I was flown back to Boston on a private jet, medjet, a Lear mid-flight from Italy. After 2 weeks, when I was stable enough to be moved, I was still flat on my back and unable to speak, etc., etc. I was a wreck of a human being. But heck, I thought, how hard can recovery be? I sprained an ankle seriously, probably tore ligaments playing high school football, and that was painful and incapacitating for a while. At that point, I had no idea of what I was facing or about to face. Well, was facing. In fact, I have spent the last 20 plus years trying to regain what I lost in one moment of time. By the way, please like and subscribe to this channel. You can then gain access to all the videos I have produced, which is now 33. Also press the notification bell so that you're not losing track of the videos when they come out. I had no idea of how difficult and times consuming regaining my former self would be. No one told me it was the time before social media and on the internet was a recent discovery. So no one in my immediate circle or my family and friends had any knowledge of what I was going through. It was roughly 6 months before I realized how difficult recovery would be, and that truly I was in deep doo-doo. Suddenly, that realization, whoa, it's not going to be a short recovery. I spent 6 months in my bubble thinking, hey, heck, I would just continue going to therapy, work hard, and get better. Sometime after 6 months, I realized stroke is definitely different than other injuries that I have come back from. And remember this, people looking at you, they're looking at you from the standpoint of, oh, he'll recover shortly. And then they get upset when it takes a long time. Anyway, sometime after 6 months, as previously stated, with other injuries, for example, maybe you, for example, hurt a muscle and remember this, it has the original connections you've had since birth in place. The brain nerve connection is in place. Not in a stroke. Stroke in a certain sense is unique. because the initial damage is to the brain, and as a consequence, the nerve to the muscle connection is broken. And this, by the way, is the really devastating part. Even if the problem, say like a clot, is solved that caused the stroke, that part of the brain is dead from lack of blood. Dead forever. The nerve connections you have had since infancy now also are broken, and you have to develop new ones. Meaning, if you have learned to walk at age 2 and run at age 4, after your stroke, you may not be so lucky. You have to allow much more time to relearn anything. You might be thinking, this guy should be inspiring me. This is definitely not inspiring. But au contraire, I say, I hope to prevent you from that heartbreaking, so depressing realization I had at 6 months that your life is over. Maybe your recovery is progressing swimmingly, but I am delighted for you if that's the case. But if on the other hand, like me, you are going through this crisis, I wanted to warn you of the incoming artillery shell so that you are prepared for its attempt to shock and awe you. That negative attitude might convince you not to go to the gym if it persists, not to go to speech therapy, etc., with the idea of what's the use? Your future will seem that dim. Heck, you're not seeing the progress you expected based on your past recoveries from past illnesses. I, again, changed my attitude, and I was not recovering from the usual illness, but something unique. The point at which you realize that is very important. I wondered why friends and family did not understand stroke's unique nature. I knew that I had to learn to treat it as such. You have to have a total change of attitude for the stroke survivor. You have to have a total change of attitude. If you reach that 6 months and you're so depressed, you have to change that attitude. You will need the attitude of a person accomplishing great things against all odds. You must not get terribly discouraged or depressed to the point at which you are not able to function anymore and give up. Take delight in your small accomplishments, which most other people are not going to understand. It means when you are told that doing something is impossible, you have to take it as not a defeat and give in to forces greater than yourself, but as a challenge. You are facing down the ruin of your life. Fight back. You have to be happy with very small advances. Save whatever portion of the old you that you can. I didn't get back 100% of the old me. But I will take 80 to 90% of my old me rather than the 30 to 40% if I just gave up after 6 months. I can't throw a baseball like before my stroke, but at least I can throw a baseball. I can't do push-ups like I used to. I cannot give speeches like before, but at least I can speak. And I can't play the guitar as before. I can't do anything like before my stroke, but I'm able still to do things, and I do them with pleasure. So at the end of the day, it's a choice of not doing anything at all if you continue with that negativity, or doing something. You might find some things you can do better than you could before. That's through effort, focus. For instance, for me, it was golf. Having these relative successes improves your mood to the point where people enjoy your company again. I repeat, people might enjoy your company again. Nothing makes a bad situation worse than a bad attitude. That is the case for people who haven't had a stroke. It's 10 times more true than people who have had a stroke, because people are less patient. You don't offer them anything. So if you're offering only negativity and bad attitude, they're going to shun you. I truly hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions for me, obviously you can ask them in the comments below. Leave a comment. And until the next time, I will leave you with the message of hope and admonition. Don't give in to stroke. Thank you very much.